Hi guys and welcome back to Scrub Gaming. We're going to do some catch-ups on GAC with the finals of last week. I apologise that I wasn't able to show you the rest of the GAC battles, but you know, the whole moving house, PC breaking down fiasco kind of got me. But hey, we'll at least get the finals of this one. Let's get right into it. Okay, so this is where I found the board when I joined in. He obviously had attacked and not done so great of a job. In the northern section, he managed to chew through, I believe, without actually dropping any battles, which was okay for him, I guess. Oh, sorry, no, he took 3 attempts to take down the Bag Bros. Now, that Datacron there is a 25% TM one, so it does make it a little bit harder than your standard Bag Bros, just gives them a lot of speed at the gate. He was unable to clear much of fleet, one-tapped the Executor, but took 2 bites of the apple out of the Negotiator and could not clear it. At this point I was thinking, he's definitely not going to clear another fleet. And down the south, it looks like he's got absolutely stonewalled by my Datacron Rey, which has got 4 battles held on it. Now he dropped a battle on Qui-Gon Jinn, dropped a battle on Malgus. So I'm figuring at this point he's probably run dry, especially when I check his defense and I see that out of his 6 GLs, he's got 3 of them on defense. So I feel like he definitely doesn't have anything left in the tank to clear me out. So all I'm thinking of is trying to be as efficient as possible. Northwall does have some tough teams. It does have a DR. It's got Shaak Ti clones. It's got a Lord Vader with Maul, which does have a Health Steel Datacron. And down south, we've got a Rey. We've got Qui-Gon Army. We've got Dash with Han and Chewie. And we've also got a JML. Now, the teams that he's put here on defense is a little bit odd. As far as the GL support over there, we've got Kyle Katarn and Ayla, which is very strange. But hey, I decided to go straight for the TIE Fighter Pilot Omicron because it's a pretty standard counter. I'll just go ahead and take in Wedge with Han and Chewie. It's just there to try and take out the TIE Fighter Pilot right out the gate. That will obviously stop the benefit of Omicron to the rest of the team. It's pretty straightforward in 3s. I would do something similar as well in 5v5, I imagine. Without TIE Fighter Pilot, there is no Omicron benefit, and what's just Hux and Phasma going to do on their own? Nothing really too much to worry about here. Unfortunately, I think Phasma does get in with an AoE and strip some banners right at the end there. Oh, perhaps not. We might recover them. Yeah, we recovered them. So, decent enough start, and I was feeling confident going into this one that I'm sure I can clear enough here to secure the win. Obviously, we haven't seen what's on the back wall, so I'm not quite sure what to expect there. This one over here was the Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron. I'll use my standard counter here, which is going to be Jedi Knight Revan with Grandmaster Yoda and Jolee. Jolee is there for the revives. I really wish I had a Relic Jolee. Gosh, I need to get around to doing that. Good golly, I really need to get around to doing that at some point. Now, the idea of this is to keep Anakin controlled, hopefully keep him stunned if possible, and just kill Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron while Anakin's stunned. And also obviously increase his cooldowns, decrease his TM, etc, etc. So Anakin is ready to die, obviously. I don't actually want to kill Qui-Gon Jinn just yet because that would be bad news for me. I do a hop here just to lower the cooldowns, and I think we try to go for the stun on Anakin. Yep, we get the nice stun. I'm like, okay, great, we should be able to kill Qui-Gon Jinn. Not quite, apparently, and that Ki-Adi-Mundi goes ahead and triggers my sacrifice immediately. So we've got to keep that foresight up to stop Ki-Adi-Mundi being too much. And I was just like, okay, we can direct focus over here. And it doesn't quite kill Qui-Gon. And I'm like, well, we're dead. As soon as this happens, it's like, okay, bye. I couldn't believe that direct focus didn't kill Qui-Gon Jinn. He didn't even have any protection left. I mean, come on. So yeah, that makes things a little bit more difficult for me. I've got to still clear out the Qui-Gon Jinn. The Ki-Adi-Mundi and the Anakin combined. Now they can still be a bit of a threat because obviously the Jedi Council unique from Ki-Adi-Mundi is still in effect now, and they've still got that Datacron to boost it, so the damage output is still pretty significant. So I decide to go ahead and mirror match against his JML. It's an R9 JML with like 160,000 protection, so I don't really want to mess around too much with this. See, I can't ignore the taunt just yet, but I do have my own JML Datacron running, which has got the riposte, as well as a bonus for increased damage on allies when they attack out of turn, or is it the Jedi's Lessons? So yeah, and you can just see the crazy damage we do to this JML right now. That riposte data disk is just absurd. Killing him before he even gets a chance to do anything. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Next battle. I decided to deal with his Rey. The thing I didn't realize before I went into this battle, this Rey has no ult. I was like, oh. And I didn't even realize until, you know, partway through the battle when I was like, she's not getting ult. I guess I'm just at this point, I just assume everybody's got all the ults. But no, apparently not. No ult on this Rey, so she's really not that much of a threat. She's only R7, and her support characters were not great. So I probably could have saved my JMK cat here and used something entirely different. But hey-ho, we used it, so I can't really take that back. Just standard business right now. I'm trying to get through Rey's protection to trigger her damage immunity before she gets her next turn. So there we go. We've managed to trigger it, and then the damage immunity is going to go and everything. So lovely jubbly. It was at this point I was like, oh, she has no ult, because normally she would have ulted by now. So just go for the yeet and bye Rey. Very, very easy and straightforward. Probably the easiest GL Rey I've ever had to face. No disrespect to my opponent, of course. It's just how it is. And now it's just cleaning up Holdo, who obviously really doesn't stack up so well. See ya, Holdo. All right, easy. 57 banners. So I tried to use some leftover trash to clear out the Anakin and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Doesn't go well. I thought Rose Tico, the Spark of the Resistance, would be enough. Turns out no, not enough. Get the stun on Ki-Adi-Mundi, but there's just not enough. Who actually puts that Omega on Ki-Adi-Mundi to make him taunt? Like, no, guys, that's a mistake. It was annoying in this situation, but don't do it. God damn. All right, so Ki-Adi-Mundi over here is just ripping us apart, really, to be honest. They've obviously got some health steal on this Datacron. It's just making it annoying. So, we didn't do anything there. Lessons learned. I decided now to not mess around. We're taking in a Zam Omicron with dual Bobas to deal with this guy. I was just like, you know what? I've had enough of this team. We are definitely going to kill it now. They have no leadership. Surely this will be enough. Not quite, apparently. Not quite. And there's that wretched taunt coming up again. I go for the AoE there, so we don't double tap accidentally and get lots of damage counters from Ki-Adi-Mundi. He wrecks my my Zam there. I'm like, God, don't let me just die to a solo Ki-Adi-Mundi thanks to his riposte. Okay, now kill him. Dadbod Boba really isn't so bad. He does have some decent DPS on him. Now, because I dropped a couple of battles, I wanted to make sure that when I go against this Han and Chewie, that I don't lose. So I went to win Luke with my Luke Datacron, which basically means I'll take so many turns. Obviously, it's not quite as much unless he's under a JML lead, but still taking 3 turns back to back at the start is very good. It was perfect start. They targeted my Luke. He's the person that can't be stunned, so can't complain. Easy victory there. You get to see the back wall as a consequence. Let's go take a look. What have we got? I can see a Malgus there and a Boba Fett. So we've got Malgus, Boba Fett, GG, Iden, and it looks like it's a GL Nute squad. So, nothing too easy, I would say. But again, no other GLs, which is good for us. So I decided to go back up to the northern section to see if I can get some damage done there. We've got a crew team here with Sith Trooper and Fost, I believe. I decided to take in JTR. JTR is usually pretty good against crew because of the heal immunity, etc. Now, the double tank situation with Sith Trooper can be annoying because they can just bounce that taunt back and forth. Sith Trooper can cleanse, etc. And sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get through to that Sith Trooper before he starts killing people. But yeah, we just get working on it. We obviously stealth and leave BB-8 out in the open so he can counterattack, recover, etc., etc. And we just try to get to a point where we can actually hit the Red Trooper, Larry over there, who is currently just assisting far too much for my liking. Obviously, we do have some dispels under JTR, but the double tank kind of makes it a little bit more annoying to get through, especially when we're decreasing the TM of this Fost right now. And I realise, oh, actually, that Fost is quite weak, actually. I don't think we kill him first, though. I still think we get through to Sith Trooper. Not entirely sure. but I think that's the case. Yep, okay, I think we get some burning out. No, go for the stun on Fost instead. Oh, I think it's because I was imagining him cleansing off the stuns, etc. from our allies with his form up type ability. Nearly got rid of him, and Fost taunts again. I'm like, ugh, I'm hoping for a burn from BB-8 here to kill out both Stormtrooper, Sith Trooper and Stormtrooper. Let's go. Yeah, double expose. Booyah. Easy claps. Now, I was thinking at this point that I could probably stall out this this battle now to try and recover banners with the additional Illuminated Destinies, but then for some reason I just immediately put the heal immunity on crew. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't want to try and recover my banners. Rookie mistake, guys, but I guess I wasn't really taking this particular GAC too seriously, because I felt like I've won this already. See you, crew. I was like, well, I'm not going to recover now, I might as well just kill him. Alright, 54 banners. Dropped a couple of banners there, but it's a one-tap victory. Next up, I decided to deal with the Iden team by taking in Wamps. Good old Wamps can always wreck a good Iden team. There are situations where Wampa will fail in these scenarios, and that's usually if there's any source of, you know, tenacity down, which would then ruin some of the benefits of Iden. They use the likes of TIE Fighter Pilot, I want to say. Or if the Iden has a particularly high amount of offense, or has enough potency to stun you out the gate. Those are the only sort of scenarios where Iden can win versus Wampa in my experience. Apart from that, Wampa is a very, very solid counter to this team. Probably could have just put it on auto, because this is only a Gear 11 Iden. It's nothing really to worry too much about. Yeah, I'm just doing Wamp things with the Wampacron. Wampacron, best Cron, guys, you know the deal. Hopefully getting a counter-attack or two here and actually kill these guys for good. There's 18 dots over there on Iden. She cleansed them all. But yeah, no, this match is really just a formality here at this point. Iden's not going to do anything to this Wampa. Eventually we will just kill her. There she goes. 58 banners, all good. Next up, we have got the GL Nute team. I decided to take in Imperial Troopers. GL Nute can be an annoying team to deal with because those stacks are B1s. You can't kill anything out the gate. Everything is like either immune to damage or has a revive, just won't die in any hits. So I use Imperial Troopers because there's a lot of out-of-turn attacks. You can chew through the B1 stack very, very quickly. As you can see, got it down to 4 stacks, and I'm actually able to get off a mass fear as well, thanks to Piet's AoE there. So I was quite happy with that. And that fear, incidentally, the double tap on Nute so he doesn't actually get an attack in. That fear on Django will never expire because he's damage immune, so we can't get rid of the fear. So he's definitely not taking a turn, which is nice. Completely remove his ability to do any damage for his first turn of damage immunity. And I'm not too worried about his second turn. We're obviously going to lose some banners because he'll do his AoE, but ultimately it's a one tap. We don't lose any units, so should just be happy that Django is going to bite it right now. Bap bap. Dark Troopers, just so good. So I decided to do another solo here, and this is Malak going up against Shaak Ti and clones. This is a relatively straightforward one. The only time I wouldn't do this is if their arc has like crazy levels of damage on him, or if they don't have, if they have really, really high protection and low health. But nobody really mods their clones like that. It's usually just a lot of offense. I believe I put on a very low-level Datacron on this Malak team just to give him a sliver more health steal. He's annoying. I want him to be able to recover as much health as possible. Obviously, Arc can cause issues here because Arc's turret, for example, does true damage. So it can't crit, obviously, which means it can't be feared. But his basic can still crit, I think. His big hit can. And true damage ignores stuff like defense, which is obviously one of the benefits of Malak's kit. Malgus and Malak, they're both bald-headed people with rebreathers on their face. Not a lot of ingenuity in the naming conventions here. Alright, next battle. Now, this battle I knew wasn't going to go well for me. I only needed 20 banners, I think, to get ahead of the enemy. And I thought I might as well try and Fennec this Lord Vader, see if we can get through the fleet. This Datacron here on this this Lord Vader Maul team has got health steal. Normally that will completely negate a Fennec counter. But I thought I might as well try it just for science, because I'm fairly confident I've won already. I only need to really kill one more team. And this happens. The reason we have BAM in there against Maul is obviously to trigger the damage immunity so that you can interrupt Maul's bonus turns. But he didn't trigger any of the health thresholds on those Scoundrel allies. Didn't bring him below 75%. He went from like 90% health to 0 health. So maybe some modding changes can go in there. Maybe I can remod my BAM to have a little bit more max health. So we decide to go in with a trusty 5s, Rex and Thrawn counter to the Bag Bros. I quite like this team in 3s. It's quite useful because obviously you just need to buy time in this sort of counter to get through to a Rexolate. And Thrawn gives you that opportunity because he can take out one of the enemy teams essentially with his fracture, and then he can turn me to swap with the likes of Rex to get him closer to another Rexolate very quickly. And obviously the protection recovery also helps because that keeps us in the game. We can keep our 5s alive so we can actually taunt. I think we fracture here just so we can Rexecute Resistance Hero Finn. So yeah, I quite like this team. It's not the best, most banner efficient team, but it can usually punch up relatively well, provided you're not going against something that takes reduced damage from percentage health effects like Crew. It does okay. It does okay. And the Bag Bros teams, they can be annoying. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good shout here. I think we try and recover the protection on 5s right now. Yeah, got back up to max protection there. Doing a bit of a form up. And Rexecute once again. Booyah. So we dropped one banner, but it's pretty good, I'd say. Alrighty, so I think we are taking in... I can't remember this one, I apologise. Alright, we're going against the Boba Fett team. Now it does have Zam in there. We're using our Bad Batch. I believe this one doesn't quite go our way. We do get the stun out of the gate, obviously not on Dengar because he's just annoying. But the idea was, for me at least, I was like, get rid of Zam. If we can kill Zam, that means there's no more Omicron benefit. Notice that there's no debuffs on her, otherwise I would have basicked here. And then I'm just like, come on, can we just kill Zam? And she just decides to just stay alive. And unfortunately, they do get the bonus attack from Dengar there that happens to kill our Echo. And that kind of spells bad news for us, I'm not going to lie, guys. An R8 Boba Fett in 3s, that did 280,000 damage. I'm just saying. Like, that is a lot of damage. Just one tapping, folks. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're dropping a battle here. 183,000 damage there. Yep, that Boba Fett was nasty. Next up, I decide to go ahead and take in Traya Scion and Darth Talon against his GG. This was more of a, hey, let's see if this works, rather than anything. I was in a testing phase at this point, and I didn't have a whole lot left in my roster. Because I set a relatively tough defense for my GP range, and it usually costs me quite a lot. If ever I start dropping battles, it becomes very difficult to recover. But I figured we might as well give this a go. If we can get the, if we can get Held by Hatred up on Scion, maybe we've got a chance of actually surviving this battle. Obviously, I do want to kill everything that I can. See a B1 or B2 rather. And we do take a slice out of Grievous, but it's really not. There's not much point in me doing this because really we need to kill Maggie before we do anything anyway. Darth Talon, high DPS there, high single fire DPS. Try and keep Scion alive. We get to Held by Hatred, which is nice. So that obviously gives us an insta revive and makes us do a little bit more damage with Scion. Because that's the thing that this team really lacks right now, is any kind of actual damage. This is frustrating because that killed Maggie, but obviously it didn't kill Maggie, so we don't get the bonus turn with Talon, which is quite annoying. But there we go. Looks like we should actually be okay just about here. Just got to try and chew through this Grievous before he just health steals his way up. Nearly there, and I'm like, whoa, you stay away from my Traya. Stay away from Traya, buddy. Nearly. And he recovers again. I'm like, come on. Let me kill this Grievous. High single fire damage. Let's go. 30,000 damage coming out of Talon. Whoo! Better tell Mom. Okay, so it's time to clear up that Boba Fett team. I decided to take in my own bounty hunters. I'm like, well, I'm pretty confident that now that I've got the advantage here, I can even take in these rather trash bounty hunters and still survive. We'll see if I have to eat my own words. Dengar being incredibly annoying, of course. Embo with the one tap, love it. Dengar hiding away like that is a little bit annoying, but what can you do? We've got quite a bit of control here. 2 stuns out of 2 of the characters, and we've got a bit of TM manipulation, so quite confident that we can kill this Boba before he gets away from us. Boop. And obviously we've got the recovery element. Well, they don't. Then Dengar gets cleaned up. That puts us in a pretty decent position. Alright, so we're looking at it now, and we are ahead by quite a bit of banners. I take a look at what he's got left, and I'm like, I don't think I can really kill this. But I think we decide to throw in C. Bear in mind, my C is gear 12 and obviously has no ult. So I knew that this is a battle that I simply can't win. I think at this point I was just throwing stuff at the wall to say, hey, what happens when I do this? Spoiler alert, guys. Nothing good happens when I do this. Interestingly enough, thanks to Malak's Omicron, normally if you'd have done this, he wouldn't have had protection afterwards. But he does recover all his health and protection at the start of each GAC battle, so he is going to have that, which is a shame. Yeah, we don't do anything here. That's the long and short of this one, guys. I will skip ahead just so you can see. Yeah, absolutely nothing happens. Then I guess I tried a Maul Mando team here. I was thinking maybe we can deal enough damage. I know Watt is going to be applying dots and on these out of turn attacks, which is just going to heal up the tame, but maybe we can do something. Who knows? Maybe there's enough damage in Maul to actually kill him. I don't know if I want to do spoiler alert again, guys, but no, it does not. So, just going to start off with a basic over here. If I could have done the AoE, but it likely would have caused Malak to taunt, and we would have been feared, and that's just not a good time for anybody. So we just do the basics, and obviously Malgus just heals himself up. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna take about 1,000 counterattacks from the Malgus. I decide to actually start doing Seething Rage, even though there's really no point. You can see how much damage we're actually doing. The actual hit from Maul is dealing a decent chunk of damage, but then Canderous is just healing him up afterwards, which is quite funny. So we get an opportunity to actually hit Talon, which is nice. And we get rid of all of her protection. Malgus over there just fully heals. Malak starts taunting, and I'm like, well, I think this isn't going to go well. Yeah, so I do the AoE there just to try and get some damage over there on Talon, more than anything. I'm like, oh, we got an opportunity to kill Talon, let's go. Not quite enough just yet, and then we lose our candy. I think maybe we can kill Talon with the AoE here. Boop. Success, we killed something. And that's about as much as we get done, because then, you know, they just tear us apart. But hey, it was fun. And that was the final situation on the board, guys. I wasn't able to kill any more teams, but obviously we did more than enough to actually win the battle. I think if I hadn't seen how badly he'd done and had all that confidence that he wasn't going to clear anymore, I probably would have tried a little bit harder on offense to get more of a full clear. But ultimately, I'll be honest, I'm suffering a bit of burnout when it comes to 3v3. It's just not a game mode that I enjoy. Especially with the state my roster is in right now, I feel like I can't particularly deal well with punching up against these larger GP accounts, which have all the GLs and all the ultimates and all that good business. So I'm just glad this is the end of 3v3 and we can move on to 5v5 again. Yay! Alright guys, until the next video. Peace.
Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.